Okay, folks, it's a disheveled Darth checking back in with you again to talk about The Wheel of Time episode 4. We need to do a deep dive on it. I've been promising that you were going to get this. I am later than late on it, but here we are. Actually, the new episode premieres in like 2 hours. Okay, really quickly, let's chat on this because there is some awesome setup for both the episode and the series moving forward here. And I just want to hit on a few things. First off, the little girl said Birgitte protects her in her sleep, which you book readers you know what that's talking about. And then she gave the doll away, and then she died. And that's a gut punch that people aren't even going to get for seasons, right? But that's amazing. And all it cost them was making a doll and adding a line or two. So that's great. I love those kinds of touches. There was a lot more of that in this episode. Isla talking about her daughter. Somebody on Reddit said this, and it was so true. I think that this is exemplary of how the Wheel of Time is different from, really a lot of modern fantasy. The whole time that scene was happening, I was sure she was going to get into how her daughter was raped, and she had to find her, like, messed up, and it didn't. And maybe you felt that it was going there. I certainly did. And then when it didn't, it was just like, okay, it's still bad. It's still terrible what happened to her daughter. She got killed by men for sport, and that's enough. We don't have to be dark and gritty for the sake of being dark and gritty and make everything so heavy. The Wheel of Time's more fun than that. And a great example of it being fun, the campfire scene where Nynaeve is sitting there talking to all of these warders. And we're learning so much. They're teaching the audience in that scene about the warder bond, and they're trying to like check through all of this lore and all of this setup, but they're trying to do it in a way that is enjoyable for the characters and comical, and just kind of resonant for an audience. So I really think that that's hard to write. If you've ever tried to write something like that, striking the balance between what you need to accomplish, what you want to accomplish, and checking the boxes on development for characters and audience engagement, blending all of that subtly in the background it's just really well done through this whole episode. Lan gets up from there and he walks in, and they just need to reinforce that warder bond thing. So he makes the comment to Moiraine about how she gets emotional when he drinks. Love it. This episode was full of that kind of thing. Also, she drops a bomb there. She says, I don't think the Dark One has any more idea who the dragon is than we do. And it's like, oh shit. That was a big moment. I think that's a really neat, I don't even want to say departure, because it's not a departure. If you've read The Eye of the World, there's the clay figurines that they pick up in their sleep in that one sequence, which the dream sequences are getting trippier. Perrin was hammering. Daniel Green thought it was an Aielman. I thought it was a Tinker. But he was hammering a person, and it was, And then Mat had the thing, and then Rand wakes up, and the Mat bit's kind of real, and walked into the house, and all the people are dead, and it was like, oh, shit. Did Mat kill these people? Thank God it's a Myrddraal. Thank God it's a Myrddraal, but it was getting dark there for a second, and I could have totally seen Mat affected by Mashadar taking a darker path in this story. Again, it's not Game of Thrones. We didn't have to do that. We know there's something real messed up going on with him. Back into his mouth. Creepy, right? So that's really great. The Myrddraal fight was amazing. They did a great job with that. It moved so quickly. Tom was a badass. He tries to backhand a dagger into that thing. He throws 2 knives and it catches the one. There's just some really fun stuff happening there. I thought that was probably the best action sequence that we've seen so far, actually. So That's great. There's a ton of setup and interaction in this episode that helps propel the series forward. And I think this episode did better than any of the others have in that regard. And it seems like in general, critics and the audience are agreeing that episode 4 is just great. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 did enough to grab people, and if they came back for one more week, if they watched episode 4, which it seems like people are, they're in. This show is fucking awesome now, right? So if episode 5 tonight is better than that, we are in for something really significantly awesome. I will say, the intro section with Logain, these cold opens are killing it now, but that should have been the intro for episode 1. I think somebody even commented that on my YouTube channel, and that was pretty cool to see earlier. But if that was the intro for episode 1 and it introduced us to what a man channeling looks like, and by the way, subtle detail here, you see his flows, his weaves, they're white, and then the black comes over them. That's awesome. That really shows that the taint and his channeling ability are two separate things, but they're together. I also like that the black kind of like Sidene corruption figures talking, whispering in his ear. He had a bad angel on both ears. He didn't have, on both shoulders, I mean. He didn't have a good angel on one side. So that was interesting. And he's overcoming that. That shows us the difference. But for me, it actually kind of reframed what madness might be like. Because if I heard a voice in my head for a week, I would be really confused and scared and etc. If I heard a voice in my head for 3 years and it helped me through some trauma and coached me and said some things that were good, that voice might start getting some weight, so that really actually kind of changes my perspective on it. Makes it a little less comic booky, thinking of how madness could affect somebody. It's always there, always just suggesting what he should do, but he knows he shouldn't. Thought that was interesting. Also, something that we don't really know about Logain's character that they mentioned. They mentioned something happened to, I think, his wife and kid, or his parents and sister, or something like that. A family member. I'd love to know what was going on there. That's really interesting. Yeah. There's so much in this episode that I tried doing this deep dive for 2 days, and I've been incredible. I haven't even got a haircut. I've been incredibly busy. But even so, I just kept having to redo it because I don't know how to talk about everything here. I thought it was great. I think it's the best episode so far, and maybe tonight's even better. That would be exciting. So, anyways, guys, have a great day. Tomorrow we're going to have new stuff to talk about. More Wheel of Time. Thank you.